All right. So back in my little tinker shop here, tinkering around. Guess I don't need that right now. Let's see. So we got about 24 hours on this guy. The epoxy's hard. I can't stick my fingernail into it, so that's about as good as it gets. As far as I could tell, within 24 hours. Well, that's what we got. We got glue up, and again, that handle material is just cool stuff. So put a grind on it, cut down the excess, do my best not to scratch my spine. It's all been sanded out already. I'll probably have to do it some more before the end. But yeah, home stretch on this guy. So go over to the grinder and get going on that. All right. We'll run 80 grit on it. That way I ain't gotta do a whole lot of work. Stuff should come right off. All right. Safety first. Fix it away. Fix it away. Yeah, this stuff stinks. So this is called a slack belt. It's probably not the right name for it, but that's what it is. It's a flexible belt made in Germany. It's called a J-Flex. Slack belt, J-Flex. You know. So what this is designed to do, it's designed to get in these corners like this. It's designed so you can flex on the side of it right here without tearing it up. You do that with one of those stiffer belts, you're going to cut into your material real bad with the edge of that thing. This stuff is like, it's designed for it. It's real nice. This material is so cool, man. Focus for you. That material's cool stuff. That's a chunky boy right there. Definitely going to have to cut that down. That thing is huge. Alright. Over to the hand sanding. And I might be cutting into that quite a bit. That's still like really thick. So we'll find out. Get a hand sanded out and see if I want to take some girth off of it. Alright, try and get set up so you can see what I'm doing. I mean, it's simple. Let's see. Maybe give it a turn, maybe you can see a little better as I'm standing here. So, you'll find me a piece of leather. That'll do. It's nice. Old piece of boot leather. That way I don't mar my finish up. I'm gonna start. I'll start on the spine. We'll start at 400 grit. So that slack belt's 320, and it's designed for wood, actually. It's not designed for metal. So they're designed for doing wooden handles. so they don't clog up as bad. If you put wood on an 80 grit or a 50 or a 220 and you're not using like a compound, they're gonna clog up pretty quick. Right here, I'm just taking this. Some guys will put tape on the back. That'll keep it from like breaking as you work it. You know what it smells like? It smells like paint. It smells like wet paint when you work it or when you drill it. That's what I'm smelling. Any of my friends that know me, they know that if I'm smelling it, it's probably bad. There's not a whole lot I can smell, and this stuff's strong. Maybe this will mitigate it some. When I was at the grinder, though, I was smelling it through this thing, so I don't even know if this thing's working. Feeling pretty good. Oh. I'm gonna take it back to the grinder. Be right back. All right, I just took the sides down a little bit. Need a proper stand. I just took the sides down a little bit on either side. I mean, just 1/2 if that, just to kind of make it a little smaller. I'm just going to round it. This isn't like an hourglass or a Coke bottle shape. Like I said, it's reminiscent of them sharp fingers, that square, just kind of fit in your palm. That's kind of what I was going for. And I mean, that's still a lot of material on there, but I mean, we got all the colors showing. I mean, for the most part, I mean, that handle material, how this started coming through, that was all green before I went back over there to that grinder. I mean, that handle material will just show more and more if I ground into it. Right there, you see that? I mean, it's cool stuff, man. That is cool handle material. I mean, like I said, it's the first time I've worked with it. I've probably said that 15 times by now. It smells like paint when you grind it, but dude, is it pretty neat. It is pretty neat. I'm enjoying working with it anyways. Even though it smells like a wet paint shop, but get back to this. though. I wonder what that does. So a lot of times when you wet sand handle material, it'll gum up. It'll be worse than if you didn't. So all these are clogging, right? These are all clogging up. Now they're smooth as shit. There's a couple of fucking rough spots. But, and so you go through a lot of sandpaper doing handles, depending on the wood or the material. So a lot of this stuff will gum up if you wet it, but I don't know if this stuff will gum up or not. So we'll find out together. This will be an experience we share together. Let's find out. Yeah, it's gumming up. Good. Oh, yeah. Oh. So the handle's mostly done. Most of what you see me doing with that little. So before you put a handle on this stuff, you really want to make sure your spine, is good. And hand sanded, because hand sanding your spine once you got handle material on it is just like a pain in the neck. So it's actually why some guys prefer to do I got some bumps in there still. Prefer to do hidden tang, as you don't have to worry about your spine or nothing like that. So I'll try and turn this camera around and show you. So this is what you want. That's what you want to get rid of, right? And then I got a bump right here. Focus. So I got a bump right here from the belt that I got to work out. You could actually see it a little bit. But dude, is that handle cool? That handle material is cool. Amazon guy pulled up, had to pause the video. But yeah, you get those little nicks in it right there. It's probably an 80 grit. Maybe it's probably from me trying to cut into that right there as I was grinding it. And I probably bumped that a little too much. So now I got to sit here for 15-20 minutes working on just a little tiny scratch. You know, which ain't that big of a deal. It should come out. Usually what I do is I switch to a lower belt grit. Or get something small enough to really concentrate in that spot. Because it's not like the whole thing needs to be done. Just that one little spot. Yeah, let me switch to a lower grit. Let's see. Some 220 here. 220 feels sharp compared to 400. There's a real deep nick in that. I don't know if it was like a cold shut or what, but I've seen that before. It's still got, after everything I've done, it's still got a scale in it. It probably ain't coming out. Not without me putting like a real deep gouge in it. So I'll concentrate on those lines that were going this way. Well, you can't see that knife at all, can you? Huh. Maybe that's a better angle. I don't know. It's either my face or the knife. I don't know, whichever one. So, but that little deep nick, I'll bring the camera back over here and show you what I'm talking about. There's still scale in it. I'm not getting it out. I'm probably not even going to try and get it out, but I will get those lines that are going this way out. I got another knife in the house that I finished out and everything, and actually used 3 different types of material in the handle, and it's a full tang. And you want to talk about frustrating, that thing just falling apart while you're trying to glue it all together. But it had a nick like that in the side of the blade, and there was nothing I could do. I went back down to 80 grit, went back up, it just wouldn't come out. And yeah, it's just happens, I guess. I don't know. It's probably has something to do with being reclaimed material. You know, it was a leaf spring before, and now I, forged 5 inches of it out into, an 8-inch, 4.5 inch blade and a 4.5 inch handle. May have something to do with that. It could have been a small cold shut I didn't see while I was forging. Small cold shut, right when you start forging, turns into a really big one. Once you stretch the stuff out and you get everything where you want it. So these guys are about gone. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Back up to 400. We get a new sheet. Take it back up to 400 grit. Whole hand cramped. Been hand sanding for 2 days. Guess that'll do that to you. That stuff's cool. I got some 800 grit. I wonder if 800 grit will polish it a little better. 15. That's 1,000. I only really have like the 800s and the 1000s and the for doing like Hamones. For a knife like this, I mean 400, 220. I mean, I really don't go super high up in the grit because a mirror finish, I mean, it's not going to be, every time you touch it, every time you cut something with it, it's going to leave a mark on the knife. So it's better to leave it at a higher grit. And then, you know, the same with like a chef's knife, you know, 400, 600. It's best to leave it at a higher grit because every time you wash that knife, you're leaving scratches this way, long ways with that thing, you know. So, you know, you're washing it like this. You're not going to wash it like this, you know. So if all your lines are going this way on the knife and then you're washing it this way, you're going to scratch it every time. And over time, it's going to get cloudy. Same thing with like a mirror finish or something that's like super high grit like that. It's just if it's a knife that you're going to use, I mean, there's really no point in going that high with it. 15, 2,000. Where'd my 800 grit go? Huh. Jesus. I guess we'll try 1,000 grit. That's what happens when you got a little shop and you do 5 or 6 knives. Looks like a damn bomb went off in here. Looks like a bomb went off, and then, you know, that's usually about 4 or 5 knives and I'll clean the shop up. You know, there's really, it's about all it takes. You got enough grinding dust everywhere to fill a bucket by then. Dude, it just got like lighter in color. That's 2 sheets. How you like me now? Doubled up my workload. That is so cool. It comes up quick though. Oh yeah. Oof. That handle material is so cool. Yeah, that handle material is cool stuff. A little bit right there still. The camera will pick up stuff that my eyes won't sometimes. Where was it? Right there. I think those are 1,000 grit. No, those are pretty low grit scratches. I have to get those out. But that handle material, that is cool stuff. That is neat. All right, so I set this back up without messing it up too bad. Bam. Where is... I think this was the last piece of 400 I was working with. Easy. Easy. So that's top. I'll do bottom, 1,000 grit, and I switch to the sides. Maybe time lapse from here. Probably already 15 minutes of me hand sanding. Yeah, that's cool stuff. So this is how I hand sand the sides. Just a piece of leather and a clamp, and I just clamp it on there and get the sides, you know, a little more rounding. But I don't know if you remember earlier in the video, I talked about how this had a lip right here that I said would come out in the wash. Well, it's gone. I mean, it's not even there no more. And then they're not even, so they go like forward towards the edge. Both of them do, actually. So, you know, as long as they match for the most part, you know, I'm not looking to make everything perfect. I mean, it is, well, you can't really see. It's pretty well, you know, perfect. I mean, it's pretty damn close. So there's that black mark right there. I would probably have to grind into that and just make a big old gouge to get rid of it. So really, I'm just going to leave it. I mean, it's just a blemish. It probably wouldn't stop me from selling it. If I was to sell this knife, that probably wouldn't stop me from selling it. You know, I mean, it's not something I'm testing for journeymanship for. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. You know, just as close to perfect as I can get. And then blemishes like that, I mean, I've had them more than once with this reclaimed material like that. So, cut us another 400 strip here. Another thing that's hard too is, you know, there's no gaps. It's flat. I mean, it's really well done. It, you know, early on, I would blacken the glue, the epoxy. I would blacken it. That way, if there was a gap, it would be black, and you wouldn't be, you know, be able to tell. So really, I was just hiding my own flaws by blacking the epoxy, and I still do that depending on the material, you know. But there was no need with this. This was pretty flat. I mean, it come out really nice. This is a nice one. And this stuff just cuts. I mean, This may be my new favorite type of handle material. I mean, this stuff is amazing to work with. And that's 400 grit, and it's just plowing through it. There's 2 belt marks in this where the belt bit, because it's such soft material. I mean, it's hard, but when it comes to sanding it, it's soft. There's 2 belt marks in it I'm working out, and then I'll go back up to 1,000 and really polish it out. Yeah, they're just picking up material. See, that just made that disappear. So that's another thing I'm talking about, like cross hatching, right? So I'm going straight up and down with it. And those grooves are just picking up material and kind of staying clogged. And I cross hatch it and one of them just absolutely disappears. But you want to like make X's. You know, anybody that's done body work knows what I'm talking about. You want to make like X's and then, you know, go straight again. And that'll help you cut that material. It'll help you move it. That one's gone. Straight up and down, around the edges. So I definitely hit with the 400 in places that I already had sanded with the 1000. But that's all right. There's a gap there, maybe. Yep. That's all right. Little gap on my pen. Stuff just gums up. So I'm doing my best not to hit the blade. It's not covered. I probably should have covered it with some tape, but all right, on to the next side. Yeah, there's spots on here where the belt bit too. This is what makes the biggest mess in the shop, this shit. That makes the biggest mess out of all of it. Hell, I got a piece of 400 right here. Sandpaper everywhere. There's a pile on that table. There's a pile on that table. There's a pile on the ground. I go through this stuff like you wouldn't believe. Like you wouldn't believe. Just one of the parts of it, though. Yeah, it just clogs that right up. That's smooth as can be. Clogs it right up. I wonder if I took... Maybe some of that's not trash. I come right off. Let's say, I wonder, there's a trick that the auto body guys will do, and they'll brush that paper. That, you know, they'll brush it and it'll keep it from clogging. Probably when they're using stuff like Bondo and stuff. Wonder if I got a brush around here somewhere. Ah, well. I'll pick one up next time I go buy one. Walk by it in the store or something and go, oh, you know what? I was thinking about getting one of these. So a lot of this is about softening corners. Look at that. Like brand new paper. That's crazy. Wonder how much of that on the ground is perfectly good. That's crazy. I like this handle material more and more. So a lot of this is about softening corners. You know, there's really, like I said, there's no Coke bottle shape to this. It's super square, and I just knock off the edges. Is really all I'm doing, is just make it a comfortable feel. And I mean, it feels great. It really does. Like I said, it is for me, so it is what I prefer in a knife. Maybe it's plain to some. You know, they really like that Coke bottle shape, you know. But this is my preferred handle. This is how I like my handles. This is my favorite shape of a handle. But I've also done some, you know, I've done kukris, I've done chef knives, and those are always different than this. You know, this is that EDC everyday carry hunting knife, you know. And kukri handle's got that big, you know, or the Coke bottle shape to it. It's different. And the chef knives are always different. Some of them got, you know, weird angles on the back. I've cut one like that where it was kind of sharp, but it wasn't sharp. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to put this shape of a handle on a chef's knife. Maybe if it was for me, I would. But I'm not going to do it if I plan on selling it. You know. I mean, once they picked it up, they might go, oh, that's nice, but they're not, it's not going to catch their eye. You know. This shape is kind of boring, I guess. Look at that. So I'm just rounding edges. That's all I'm doing, is rounding edges. I could have done that whole thing with one piece of 400. Didn't even know. Goodness. The things you learn, you know, the things you learn. So back to 1,000. That stuff doesn't come as clean. I'm kind of afraid to polish it. That polishing compound might just ruin the color. Boy, that's a cool knife. let me hit it on the polish wheel. Hit it on the polish wheel, and then I'll hit it with the Windex and clean it up real good. And then it's done. Everything's done but sharpening. So the next step would be to sharpen it. I'm going to polish it just to see. I'll probably use the side with no compound just to see what it looks like. There's that gap on my pin I was talking about. See that gap? That's where material's falling from me sanding. So there's definitely a gap on that pin. Hopefully it's not a huge one. I mean, it is enough for me to get my fingernail into, so that makes me not happy. Let's say most people probably wouldn't notice it, but I'm so picky, you know, such a perfectionist with these things because I do it all the time. It's something that I enjoy doing, and I'm always looking at them. And as soon as I pick up a knife, I mean, especially if I know it's handmade like these are, you know, I mean, I'm looking at every little bit of it. You know, how'd they do this? Oh, this is interesting. Oh, they forgot this. Or, man, they sold that and it had that gap in it like that. They didn't put it in the scrap pile, you know what I mean? Just stuff like that. You know. And it's probably anybody that's doing this is probably the same way, if I had to guess. I probably wasn't like that before. I mean, I forged knives when I was a kid, but they were horrendous. You know, got back into it a couple years ago, and I'm just trying to get to a high level of it. So I critique the hell out of everything I touch for the most part. Even, you know, I mean, it'll be some of the nicest stuff you've seen, and I'm still like critiquing it, looking at it real good. But yeah, it's got a little tiny distilled taper where the back is thinner than the front, so it's thicker here, thinner there, you know, and that's how it's supposed to be. Those are horrendous. I really regret putting them in like that. Wish I could have used my file. I'll be back though. I'm gonna hit it with the polish. I'm gonna clean it up real good, and then I'll try and get some close-ups of it real good. All right. Ooh, did a flip around there, didn't I? This is clean. It's all dusty. Alright, so I hit it with the polish. It's definitely duller than it was when I did it with the Windex. Get it wet with the Windex, it really shine. But it's done. I mean, I really have no like good background to give you like a real nice money shot. Probably do with some more hand sanding right there. It's done. It just needs to be sharpened. Then I'm making a sheath for it, so I give you the money shot of both sides here. Let me turn this. So there's what she looks like when she's finished. So that's brute forged, just drop point hunter. Man, that handle material's cool. You can see right there where I gotta hit that with something. Maybe it's from the polish wheel. I don't know. Them G10 pins didn't want to sand real well. But I mean, that is really cool handle material. The only thing I'm not happy with is the jimping. I wish I would have done a proper jimping on that. That it just looks like shit, but that is what it is. I mean, just real good hand finish. But that handle material is phenomenal. That stuff is too cool, man. Too cool. That one little spot right there is bugging me. I got to go get that. So proper jimping, I mean, this is what jimping's supposed to look like. That's what you want. That's what you don't want. That's goofy. This is professional. So this is going to be a nice one too. And then that one hopefully will be up for sale before Christmas. That's a nice one too. So that's going to have regular wood on it though. Not cool handle material like that. But it's a nice one. I got a couple of them over here that are real nice like that. Proper jimping. See the difference? See? Yeah, these ones come out nice too. I got two more like that to hand sand. And then put handles on. And I'm going to do steel pins. So that's something you probably don't see too often in the knife world, is steel pins. So these are 1/4 inch, just round, 3-foot stick. I mean, you'll make freaking 70 knives out of that one thing. Steel pins, and then it doesn't look bad. They polish up real nice. Let me turn this around. Doesn't look bad. It polishes up real nice. Along with like whatever wood or handle material you're using. So, but yeah, that's going to be the end of this one. And I'd just like to say, like, I'm hoping this isn't upside down the whole time. That's going to be goofy if it's upside down the whole time. Huh? I just like to say I appreciate everybody who's bothered to watch these, right? So, I mean, to take, 40 minutes out of your day just to watch a video I made over something that I love and enjoy is pretty cool, pretty awesome, and I appreciate it. So I just wanted to say I appreciate anybody that took time to watch these videos. The next video, I'm going to make another one on making a sheath. So I've never done it before. It'll be a learning, process. It'll be the first time I've done it. So I'll be making a sheath for this guy, for this one I just made. So, because this one is for me. And then hopefully 5 other sheets for 5 other knives that are hopefully up for sale before Christmas. But no telling. That could be, I could get slammed at work and not have the time to do it, The other 2 knives will be done hand sanded, and then I'll start doing glue ups on those handles. And, it all takes time. So I may only get 2 glued up out of the 5 today and maybe another 2 the next day. And then sheets are probably going to take, I don't even know how much time it takes to make a sheet because, like I said, I've never done one. So, but again, I appreciate anybody taking the time out of their day to watch, these videos. It takes a lot of time to edit them. It probably takes just as much time to edit them as it does forging a knife, and then, I mean, just one knife, just forging one knife probably takes as much time as it does to edit the video. And then to upload and all that stuff takes quite a bit of time because my internet's absolute garbage out here in the sticks. So, but thank you. I appreciate it. Have a good day. Have a good day. Thank you.